Hi, everybody. Welcome to week 4 of Business 201 here at Greenville University. You're almost halfway through the course. You're doing a great job. So keep up the fantastic work. I'm really excited with the progress that I see everybody making and really appreciate the effort that you're putting in and the hard work that you're putting in. So please know that I see it and that I appreciate it. All right. So here's what we have going on this week. A little bit different this week because it is the midterm week. So as far as content, we actually have no new content this week. You don't have to do any new reading or anything like that. No chapters in the book, anything like that for this week. So if you're looking for content, it's not going to be there. No videos. You don't have to do any reading for this week. So we're focusing on some different things because, again, this is midterm, so it's a little bit different. We do have some deliverables this week, though. First, starting with the Module 4 discussion board, you're going to respond to a series of questions that have to do with social media, kind of your usage of social media, the changes that you've seen over time in how social media is used, and then specifically what impact that may have for us as Christians, how we might use it, how maybe we need to be cautious, different things like that. So from the Christian viewpoint, Christian perspective, how that might impact, be impacted by social media. So you'll find a series of questions in the prompt area that you're going to respond to. And don't forget that your initial post is due by Wednesday, and then your response posts to classmates are due by the end of the week on Sunday then. For your individual project this week, you're going to submit, by the end of this week, you'll submit your annotated bibliography. Now, if you haven't done one of these before, it's pretty straightforward. You probably know what a bibliography is. You're just going to list. So I would just start by listing. You need at least 10 resources for this. Okay. Now that doesn't mean you can't use more or less in your paper, but you're going to start with 10 resources. And I would just start by listing them out in APA format. Remember, we want to give that citation in APA format. So just start by doing that. Put together like you would a normal bibliography or a works cited page in APA format with at least 10 resources, right? You want at least 1 to 2 resources per subtopic. So be sure that you're spreading those around for the different subtopics as well, for what you've identified that you want to do with your paper and your research project, paper and presentation. So again, annotated bibliography just starts by putting together an APA citation or APA formatted citation of at least 10 resources, 1 to 2 per subtopic. Then beyond that, then you're going to provide a little summary for each of those references and just to explain how it connects to the topic, how that resource might be useful to you. So we're talking about probably a paragraph or so for each citation. So then just after that citation, just drop down a couple lines after that and just explain, first of all, what is this? How is it important? What, summarize just in a sentence or two what this resource offers for you, and then explain just again another sentence or two. How does this connect to what you're looking to do with the project? So how does this fit into what you're doing, right? So for each of those 10 resources, then give a paragraph where you're explaining what that resource is, what it says that's meaningful to your specific project, and then how it connects. Connect it to what you're trying to do. Okay. So again, annotated bibliography is due for your individual project. Need at least 10 resources, at least 1 to 2 resources per subtopic. And then after those resources, give a brief paragraph on a summary of that resource and how it connects to what you're doing. Okay? So that's for the individual project this week. The midterm exam is also due this week, so you have no quiz this week, but the midterm exam is this week. It's 50 items. Mostly true and false and multiple choice, very similar to the quizzes, right? Mostly multiple choice and true false, but there are some short answer questions in there as well. So be prepared for those. But again, it's kind of like the quizzes that you've had, just a little bit more expanded. And it is going to cover all the material that we've discussed in the first 3 weeks of the class, the first 3 modules. So be prepared to answer questions from any of those areas. Okay. And you'll find more information about the midterm in the assignment area there. So please do review that carefully before you jump in and take the midterm. But let me know if you have any questions or if you run into any issues there. Real quickly, there's nothing due in the group project this week. So just know that you don't have to submit anything during module 4 for the group project. There's nothing that's due for that. Okay. So these are the only 3 things that we're going to be submitting this week: discussion board, individual project, which is your annotated bibliography, and then completing the midterm exam. Just a couple other notes on it. I always kind of like to look ahead, right, and see what we have coming up in the next week or so. So you can kind of be thinking about that and be prepared for these things. So for your individual project next week in Module 5, you're going to be submitting an outline for your paper. So be prepared to start thinking along those lines as well. You can look ahead at that assignment, see what all is going to be involved in that, but you're going to submit next week an outline for your paper. And then obviously we're going to flesh that out as you write your actual paper in coming weeks as well. But next week, the outline for your paper is going to be due for your individual project. As far as the group project, again, nothing due this week in Module 4, but in Module 5, you're going to be submitting your cost benefit analysis. So be sure you're working as a group on your CBA, putting that together. You can continue to work on it this week if you wish, but nothing is due this week. Next week, though, your cost benefit analysis will be due for that group project then. If you have questions about anything, or if you run into any challenges in the content or in the assignments or anything like that, although again, we have no new content this week, but just in general, if you're running into anything where you have questions about content, about assignments, about anything else that I can be of assistance with, please feel free to email me. I'll get back to you as soon as I can via email then. And if we need to, then we can connect via Zoom or some other way if we need to, but we'll start with an email and go from there. Okay. In the meantime, I hope that you are finding this class enjoyable. I know it's work. But hopefully it's been, the knowledge is valuable to you and you're picking up some new skills, and we'll continue to do so in the second half of the class. And best wishes this week. Let me know if you run into any issues, and just have a fantastic week.